Welcome back to another episode of Blood Feud Radio. This is the Matt, and always with me on every Tuesday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. It could be morning, wherever you're catching this. Reese, what's going on, dude?
Not much, dude. Whether you're in Bikini Bottom or the UK or the US, like the BFR always reaches you. I'm doing absolutely fine, mate. How are you?
You know, it's been a week. It's been a week. We're going through, I don't know if you guys have, we do time changes. We're going through our time change right now where.
Oh, yeah. We had that like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
It sucks, man. Like, it's so stupid.
Really? You don't enjoy that extra hour? Do you not get an extra hour in bed?
Well, we do, but me, stupidly, I stay up that extra hour and it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Oh. Yeah. I made that mistake on the first night, dude. I was just playing Batman till like 2 a.m.
I mean, that's what I was. I was playing Fortnite and football until like midnight, 1 o'clock. So just anyway, Today we're talking steel cage matches.
Let's go. We're taking the roof off.
And a quick shout out to my boy CM Punk winning on Saturday night's main event. He's the heavyweight champion now.
It certainly is. What did you, just a brief, quick thoughts of what happened at the end of Raw? What do you think?
I mean, Logan Paul did what Logan Paul does. I mean, at this point, good for him. You know what I mean?
Okay. That was more neutral than I was expecting you to go. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you just expect it now from Logan.
Honestly, man, I said on a video before, I was like, out of everyone on that roster to choose to join the Vision or potentially join the Vision, you go with Logan Paul. Like, do you want to try again, WWE? We'll just pretend this week didn't happen, and we'll reset. Like, we'll press pause. We'll go down to restart, so you can try Raw again.
See, I don't mind it. To be completely honest with you, I really don't, because it kind of makes sense. Because Logan is a young enough guy to fit in with those two young talents, and he is brash. He is a Paul Heyman-esque kind of guy, a loudmouth from wherever he's from, with opinions that no one wants to hear nor cares about.
No, he is. I just, that thing that you just described there, I could name 4 people right now on the roster that would be a better fit with the same qualities like you just said. Like, like an Austin Theory, a Grayson Waller, a Trick Williams, like those type of people. Come on now. Like, how are we picking Logan Paul? Logan Paul doesn't need the Vision. The Vision doesn't need Logan Paul.
I mean, Seth Rollins didn't need the Vision either, and that's what we got. So, I mean,
yeah, but like with Seth, it was kind of I'm going to take these young guys and build them up. Whereas like Paul Heyman's looking for young guys now to sort of like surround himself with. So like he gets to pick the most successful one and run with it. And he picks Logan Paul, a guy who's probably not going to be full time for a long period of time. I just would have gone in a different direction.
That's fair. So
yeah.
Steel cage matches. We all love them.
No.
Now, before we get started, one question. What style steel cage match, what style cage do you like the best? Like, because we've seen the old blue, we've seen the other variants uh of the fence looking cages. What's your favorite uh style of cage?
So I grew up with the silver, the mesh, and the door, and that's what all I knew for a long time until I started watching like the old pay-per-views, and then I saw the blue cage with the big gaps in between. Um, but I am a fan of the silver mesh. I think it looks more brutal when you get thrown into it. I think when you climb it looks more impressive, and you feel a little bit more locked in my opinion. Like because like the gaps are smaller. I don't know. That's just my mindset. What about you? Because you grew up with a different
I'm
era, didn't you?
I'm an old school guy. I love the big blue. Like that's just how I. But
I don't blame you. I really don't. It's very close.
I just hated it when they turned it red. I thought that was dumb.
Oh God, that period of wrestling where like everything became red, like the cells, the cage, like what? Why? Like it's so hard to see through. No thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So this is the top 10, according to Sportster, the top 10 best WWE steel cage matches of all time. Starting at number 10, Unforgiven 2000, Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys. Now, before you give your response to that, I have to get this off my chest. I hate tag team cage matches. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them because
You you probably don't like it for
both
the same
people
reason I do.
both people have to go outside of the ring. Who in their right mind would leave their tag team partner in the same ring or in the ring with the two opponents? Like that makes zero sense.
Do you know where I learned that mistake and where I learned that logic first? It wasn't through watching the matches. It was playing the old SmackDown versus Raw games. Because if your partner gets out of the cage, you're stuck in the cage with two other guys who are just constantly hitting the signature moves, the finishing moves on you until they climb out at the same time. Whereas your partner is just stood on the outside, just like they don't know. Oh crap! Maybe I shouldn't have climbed out and left my partner in there. And then I remember the first time I saw this in action. Um, it was it was the Bar versus the Hardys in like 2017, and I think Jeff like fell out of the cage or something and left Matt in there,
Yeah,
and yeah, like Sheamus and Cesaro were just beating the shit out of Matt, and then they won. Like obviously they're gonna win. So yeah, I agree to an extent that tag team steel cage matches don't make sense unless you're gonna go for it. It's pinfalls only. There's no escape. I don't understand the whole escape aspect of it because unless you're gonna try and escape at the same time, it just doesn't make sense as a concept. Like you're literally making a decision to leave your tag team partner behind.
yeah.
So yeah, as far as
So
that match goes, by the way, I didn't mind it. I don't mind it. 2000 very rarely went wrong with matches. It was a very very strong year, and I do remember this cage match being good.
well, Uncle Dave gave that 3.5 stars. So I'm gonna side with Uncle Dave on this one. Rubbish. Get it off my TV. I don't want it.
That's pretty low for a top 10 rating.
For
Dave must hate
for,
tag team
for
steel cage
Dave.
matches as well.
For Uncle Dave.
Oh,
Uh
Dave.
Sportster gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
So, pretty similar to Dave then on their kind of rating, then, right? So, yeah, yeah. I'm surprised that this has made it into the top 10. Then, to be honest,
Um yeah, they must have set the bar really low on this one.
maybe yeah. No pun intended.
Um Next up, from 2008, it was on a random Raw. Jeff Hardy versus Umaga.
Yes, yes, I remember this. I love this match. Just the dynamic of Umaga was always great at facing smaller opponents, and to have him in the ring with a guy like Jeff Hardy, a guy who can bump and make the other guy look like $1 million, was such a treat to watch. And having it in a steel cage, and this is at the time where Umaga was still like a beast, like a monster. So to have him just locked in a cage with one of your favorites, Jeff Hardy, I really did enjoy this match. Yeah, and obviously Jeff Hardy in cage matches, he's always going to do something stupid, and we're going to get it, and we did.
Well, and this was on his on the road to his it was a lead in to his WWE Championship match with Randy Orton at that point.
Right. Okay.
That was about the same time frame. It was a very good match. It was one of the rare singles matches for Jeff Hardy. Again, I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan. I'm not a super mark for Jeff Hardy. I'm not a guy that says, "Oh my God, I have to watch every Jeff Hardy match." That's not who I am.
No, I agree. I think you have the same opinion as me in terms of Jeff Hardy, right? Because my opinion is I think Matt is the all around better Hardy. I can't remember if
Yeah,
you agreed with me on that. Yeah, you
yeah,
did. Yeah.
and all the Jeff Hardy marks right now are saying delete, and it's just funny
Mhm.
because that's anyway.
Yeah, well, we're getting rid of a load of Matt Hardy haters, and so I'd say to that, I say wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uncle Dave gave it a 4. Um,
That's high. That's pretty high for a Raw match.
yeah, just a random Raw gets a rating of 4 stars from Uncle Dave.
I might have to take a note of that. I feel like going back and watching that match. To be honest, yeah,
I'll send this list over to you after we're done.
yeah, dude,
Do it, lady. Do it, lady.
do it, lady.
Number 8. Extreme Rules 2011. The Miz, John Cena.
I don't remember this. I'm not gonna lie. I remember the I Quit match between those two, and the other match that they had. I don't remember this one. Does
This
it
one,
give like a description?
John Morrison got involved with this one.
Right. Okay. Does
Um,
it give any more of a description of like what exactly happened?
um, so it says if you're looking for a violent and bloody brawl in a steel cage match, then this one isn't for you. But this was still a really fun triple threat match. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it was a triple threat match. It was Miz, Cena, and Morrison.
Oh, so essentially, kind of like a handicap match. Like was this at the time where Morrison was kind of still cool with the Miz? This match is not ringing a bell for me whatsoever.
Yeah, this one's not really for me either.
No, I don't remember this. Like, was Miz WWE champion?
It was John Morrison who stood out here, pulling out some very impressive moves while utilizing the structure, only to get taken out in a great moment by newly heel R-Truth.
Right. Oh,
Cena
so
and
this.
Miz Cena and Miz continued their bad blood too, both putting in strong performances and putting their bodies on the line. This match is perhaps overshadowed by Cena's Osama bin Laden death announcement after the show, but this
What?
was still a strong main event.
Oh my god, this is a roller coaster of a show.
It's all over the place, yeah.
So I have a memory in my head, and I don't know where it's from, but I can picture John Morrison hitting Starship Pain, which is the split-legged moonsault
Yeah.
that he used to do, off of a cage. This might be from that match. I don't
It,
remember any context, but it must be from this.
it very well could be. Like, that could be because I don't
I'm gonna have to go
remember
back and
John
watch this.
Morrison being in very many cage matches.
No, I don't remember him being in many matches with Cena either. So this feels like a match that should stand out to me, but it's not ringing any bells. But if this is where R-Truth turned heel, is this like the predecessor to Capital Punishment, maybe? And then after that, the Miz and R-Truth teamed up, didn't they? To do like the Awesome Truth stuff where they got fired and then they faced the Rock and Cena at Survivor Series. This has got to be around that time.
Well, this is Extreme Rules of 2011, so
yeah, right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Honestly, dude, this is not ringing a bell for me. Then, like, yeah, because that's got to be too early for the Rock and Cena, because the Rock and Cena was 2012, was it? Like that was the first. Yeah, it was, because yes, right. Hang on, I'm just like working out the timeline in my head. The Miz went into 2011. He went into WrestleMania 27 as the champion. After that, I think Cena recaptured the title in the I Quit match. This must have been around the same time.
Matt the Duelist says 2011.
Yeah. So this is 2011. I'm saying this would make sense with the timeline, because the Awesome Truth would then go on to face the Rock and Cena at that year's Survivor Series, I believe, before their match at WrestleMania in 2012, which would have been WrestleMania 28. So yeah, it must have been around that time. It must have been the build up to whatever happened later on in 2011. I need to go back and watch this match.
There's a lot of them that if I would have known anything on the list, I would have gone and watched it. So that way I could have a fresher feel to it.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer gave it a 4 stars.
Again, pretty good rating for there's just a run. Yeah, fair enough.
So that was number 8. We are going into 7. Mm-hmm. 7 is... Wow, okay. This was a brutal match. Triple H, Ric Flair, Taboo Tuesday 05.
Oh, yeah. To be honest with you, I'm surprised this isn't in the top 5. This was a really brutal match, and it was a part of quite a lot of brutal matches these two had in around Taboo Tuesday, around that period of time. The final nail in the Evolution coffin, Triple H turning on Ric Flair. This was a very brutal match. One of Triple H's underrated feuds, in my opinion. And one of Ric Flair's best, especially in like the twilight of his career. I don't know what else to say about this match. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, did you have more? Because I've obviously had to go back and watch these matches, because obviously I started watching it a little bit after this. Do you have like a more of a recent memory of it, in terms of, was you watching at this period of time?
Let's see, this was 2005, so this was me easing back into it. Like, it was kind of one of those periods where I was in and out at this point. Like, I do remember watching Taboo Tuesday and remember thinking to myself, why is Ric Flair out there? Like what are we doing? Because I've always had that thought process of, all right, these were my heroes when I was growing up. They're like old enough to be my dad. Why are they still wrestling? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? But Ric Flair showed why he is an all-time great, why he should be on everyone's Mount Rushmore.
I don't think there's been a single decade prior to the 2010s that Ric Flair didn't have a classic match in wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in 2005 he had quite a lot. He had one great one with Edge, if I remember correctly.
That the only thing that I remember watching that really just be like, all right, why are we doing this? Was the Chris Jericho WrestleMania moments, against
Oh,
the Mickey Rourke stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
wasn't.
yeah. Luckily, like we had a great classic match just before he retired the year before. But yeah, and I think this 2005 was the perfect year for Flair. He had some great feuds with some up and coming guys, but he also had some great moments with some established wrestlers as well. And I think they used him perfectly in '05 to
Yeah,
where like they didn't overuse him. I think they underutilized him in like 2004 when he was more of a the manager for Evolution, apart from WrestleMania 20, obviously. But in 2005, he kind of got back in the ring a little bit more. I believe he held the IC title that year. And this was like 6 months before I started watching wrestling, funnily enough, because the first thing I ever watched was WrestleMania 22, Taboo Tuesday, around October, November, if I'm not mistaken. So when I went back and watched like what previously happened after WrestleMania 22, I was watching the Royal Rumble 2006 where Ray won, and there's a segment in the Royal Rumble where Triple H is just facing all of his rivals from the past year to come out one at a time and just beat the holy crap out of him. And Flair's one of them, and they reference this Steel Cage match in this Royal Rumble. Obviously, going back and watching it, such a good match,
it
such a
is.
good match, really,
Triple
really good match.
H's he. I think Triple H's heel run in '05 was just one of his best. Like it's some of his best work. Like he's
It,
just an asshole,
it
and
really is, yeah.
and like you look back at it, like he's just that guy. Be like, yeah, this is why I am the best in the business. And if you don't, he was. I don't know. It's just '05 Hunter is some of the best work he's ever done.
Do you know why? And this is my theory, in my opinion. Do you know why '05 Triple H was so good? Because they got it so wrong in '04. They took Randy out of Evolution, and that feud was totally botched, in my opinion. I thought they did it incredibly wrong. Randy wasn't a good babyface. Triple H just didn't come out looking great, neither did Randy. It didn't work out for everyone. But the best part was there was another member of Evolution who they could have a completely new rerun with in Batista. And that was the repeat, let's do it better this time. That really got Triple H back on track in '05. Like the Batista run was fantastic. The rivalry was great. The WrestleMania match, the Hell in a Cell match that we covered a couple of weeks ago was great. And then he had the feud with Flair. Like I said before, like the final nail in the coffin of Evolution was Flair finally feuding with Triple H. And the reason why '05 was so good was because they could build on what happened in 2004 and think, this is what we did wrong. This is how we do it better this year.
And I think this was around the time I think that Triple H finally started understanding the business a little bit better. And
Yeah.
I think he understood that, all right, yeah, we pushed too quickly with Randy because he was young. He wasn't polished. He wasn't he was a he was a legacy, but he didn't have the it factor quite yet to be what he turns into. Um, but Batista from day one had the build. He had the in ring talent, and just his charisma and was he had the total package from day one.
Randy Orton was very well put together before he won the world title. He was only 24 when he beat Benoit, I believe, at SummerSlam, right? So before then, I remember one of the best promos Randy Orton has ever done, and I will stand by this. One of the best promos he has ever done. WrestleMania 20. He is stood with Flair on the staircase at Madison Square Garden, where he's talking about how 6 months before he threw Foley down the stairs, and he's like, WrestleMania where it all begins again, and this is where I threw you down, and this is Mania where it all begins again, but this is where it ends for you, Mick. And he stood there in his suit with the IC title on his shoulder, and you go back and watch that, and you think, that is the future of the business. He looks like $1 million, but it was under false pretenses, not because of his talent, and not because of his lack of ability, and not because of his mic work. It's because of his age and the fact that he was around geniuses in the business. When you take those people away, young Randy's going to be young Randy, going to be a bit reckless and a little bit unreliable. So,
Yeah.
with the fact that his early work was so well managed, I think that's why they pushed him a little bit too early. And again, I'll say this again. Batista had 6 more months hanging around Triple H and Flair. And I think that 6 months did him a world of good. This was the chance for WWE to do a bit of a rerun. Hey, look what we do with Randy. We're going to handle Batista a little bit differently. And they did. They did it perfectly. The slow build-up, the fact that Batista wasn't taken off guard by the Evolution betrayal. He kept hearing Triple H talk a little bit bad about him, like, like hiding behind corners. You saw it at the 05 Rumble where he's like stood outside the locker room while Triple H and Flair are discussing plans, and he hears them. And then later on, when he wins the Rumble at Raw, where he hears him talking about what's going to happen. They're going to send Batista over to SmackDown. They're going to get rid of him. And then he puts the thumbs down. It was managed perfectly.
Yeah.
And like you say, like Triple H was very well into like knowledge in the business by this time. And he was a lot more selfish like a couple of years before. And like that's, we know about the Reign of Terror, but now he was more of, he understood the bigger picture. I know we kind of went on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah.
Oh no, that's fine. Uncle Dave gave that Triple H Flair 05 match 3.25 stars. Not quite a 4.
That's poor. That's a poor rating. Like for me, that's the closest to a perfect cage match you can get.
I think that's at least a 4.5 out of 5.
I totally agree.
Number 6 on the list. Oh wow. 2009 SmackDown. Punk and Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah, this was great. Again, this is just didn't make it into the top 5. This was a great match. I really enjoyed that whole feud with Punk and Hardy in 2009 was unbelievable. With Jeff, it really showed you that he still had the capability to work in that main event scene, that he was still relevant. But by this time, Jeff had been around for like 11, 12 years, right? And he'd only started to be taken seriously as a single star in the past like 3 or 4 years. With Punk, this was his first couple of years on the main roster since he left ECW. This was Punk really showing like the chops that he had. And it was unbelievable, this feud. And this cage match might be my favorite match out of all of them that these guys had with each other.
Wasn't this Jeff's last match in WWE? The first time around?
I think it might have been. I'm not 100% sure. I think you might be right though. Yeah. Which is a shame because obviously, the demons that Jeff had, like he, whatever you want to call it, he's always got a lot to offer, but his personal life gets in the way of that. But
I mean, his demons outweighed his worth, and and I hate saying that because he's obviously not the guy who no one talks about because he left his family hanging around.
Yeah,
that's a horrible joke. I'm sorry. That was really bad taste. I'm not comparing him to Chris Benoit, is what I'm saying. But he had his demons, and those, to me, outweigh what he was able to do in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact is, you're a business, and you're it is a business, and sometimes you become a liability, and that's just how a company has to have it. The fact is, around this time, Jeff Hardy probably shouldn't have been wrestling. Should have been somewhere in like a rehab facility. I mean, the next couple of years for Jeff were glaringly obvious that he should have been nowhere near a wrestling ring. I believe this is around in the next couple of years, the same time that Victory Road happened. The whole incident with Sting. Um,
When he came
Jeff,
into the ring loaded at TNA, like absolutely drunk
that was
for
Victory
that,
Road. Yeah,
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 that right there to me should have TNA should have been like, we're done,
yeah, yeah.
and you need and check yourself into Betty Ford or wherever, whatever rehab facility, and get clean, get right, get off whatever you're on, and then maybe we revisit this because that shit will ruin lives. It just will.
Oh, I
And
totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And like I said, it is a shame because like the final run that he had in WWE with Punk was a great feud. It's one of the, I know it's going to sound bad, it's one of the few feuds, single feuds with Jeff that I am actually very invested in. Another one that I can mention is the one with Morrison from a couple of years before in '06 for the IC title. That was great. But as far as Jeff is concerned, he shines brightest in a tag team. And with Punk in '09, it's probably my favorite singles feud that he's ever had. And I think it's because they utilized him perfectly. He had a perfect dance partner in Punk, a guy who's great on the microphone, who can sell a feud fantastically. And it just worked out well. But as far as Jeff goes, he's always been a handful. But fortunately, this cage match was great. Obviously, you've got Punk in there who can have a match with anybody on it and make him look great. And Jeff is a spot monkey, and he's in a cage, so you know we're going to see some great stuff.
that's exactly it. It's Jeff Hardy to me is the best at stipulation matches. Like he's got to have some sort of prop to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why because I can't just watch him in a one-on-one match. He just looked awkward in that in those.
Average.
Yeah, he is average and awkward. And again, these are our opinions. It's fine if you disagree with them.
Yeah, totally.
I I don't know. It's just if he doesn't have a ladder to jump off of or a cage to jump off of,
Or a
or
table to fall through.
yeah, if he doesn't have something to aid him, his match quality is average.
It is, and he doesn't succeed. Like, I'll give you an example. The Miz isn't the greatest wrestler in the world, but he exceeds at the fundamentals, and he is not a spot monkey. He doesn't do anything flashy, but he can have classics because he exceeds at the simple things in wrestling, and he's great at the ring psychology. Jeff Hardy, for me, isn't very good at the fundamentals. He looks very awkward without a prop, and he looks very awkward without a weapon in his hand, is what I'm saying. And in my opinion, without a weapon, he's not the best at the ring psychology, which is why I'll always say Matt is the better Hardy. He's got a
Yeah,
better mind for the business. He's great at the fundamentals. He has got some flashy moves that he can throw in there. And in terms of in-ring psychology and character work, he is leagues above Hardy, Jeff Hardy.
yeah,
That's just
and of
my
course,
opinion.
I mean, my favorite guy was in that match, so I have to put it in my top five regardless.
Yeah,
So
you have to. Yeah, we got a bit of
I
biases
love
thrown in
myself
there.
some Phil. I love Phil. Pepsi
Philly
Phil.
Phil, Pepsi Phil,
Um,
baby.
and by the way, I'll have to send you the photo. Him and AJ Lee this past week for Halloween dressed up as Deathstroke and I can't remember her name. Another GI Joe character, and I grew up watching GI Joe, so I was like, hell yeah, this is
Oh, that's
my
cool,
dude.
man. That's well cool. Yeah, send me that. Send me that.
Dave Meltzer gave this match a 4, so I mean, all right, Dave, I'll
Everything's
be
been,
okay with that.
yeah. I mean, everything's been pretty like 3.5, 4 stars at the moment. I'm assuming like the ratings go up as we head into the top 5.
And we are, or we that this was the outside. This is the last one before the top 5. So here we are in our top 5. Number 5. Oh wow, another SmackDown from 2004. JBL and the late great Eddie Guerrero.
Yes. This has an argument to be in my top 3 cage matches. I thought this was fantastic. These two unlikely great dance partners. JBL always had his best matches, in my opinion, with Eddie Guerrero. I don't know if that's because Eddie Guerrero could make a broomstick look great in the ring, but I think that undersells what Bradshaw brought to the matches. Because JBL, if you put him with the right person, can have a great feud and he can have a great match. When he turned into this Texan billionaire character, it was up and down. It was debatable whether it was going to be a success. But one of his first opponents was Eddie, and Eddie really got this character over. And the feud that they had for the WWE title was great. This cage match was arguably my favorite one that they had.
His Eddie, obviously, the moment when Eddie's standing on top of the cage, like, like, come on, that was
Iconic.
it's yeah. This
Yeah,
this obviously deserves the number 5 spot. If
he really
not,
does.
closer 3, 2, or 1. But we'll see what they have left over here or coming up. Dave, I don't know what Dave's problem is. He gave it a 3.5. Like, come on,
Uh,
Dave.
like he's kind of notorious that people talk about this. Dave Meltzer was very low on WWE in like the 2000s. He was very reluctant. I don't think for a full decade he gave WWE a 5-star match.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the 2000s, Dave Meltzer's reviews of like WWE wrestling was like questionable at best. All I can say about this match is I wish I had like an 8x10 signed picture of Eddie on top of the cage. That would have been dope.
Oh yeah. See, Eddie, I mean, we'll have to go and do our personal top 10 of all time maybe later on down the road, but Eddie
Yeah,
to me has got to be in the discussion for a top 5 every day in from this
100%.
generation.
I mean, you talk about like the top lists that we've done. If you remember, like the promo one that we did, his addict promo was in my top 5. I think he's fantastic. Someone who was taken from us way too soon. Someone who probably wouldn't be wrestling now because it would be quite old. I think he was
Well,
38, 39 when he passed away. So, but I think that a guy who really excelled in the 2000s, if we'd have just had him for another 5, 10 years, I think the business would definitely look different, a lot different. I mean, he was scheduled to win the world title again before he passed away, if I'm not mistaken.
it was because he's about the same age as Ray, isn't he?
I think he was a little bit older. Like I say, I'm sure he was 30, 38, 39 when he passed away. I might be wrong about that, but I think Ray was a little bit younger than him because I think Eddie started in just the generation above it. I think Eddie used to wrestle with his Ray's uncle in Mexico. Because Chavo, I believe, is Ray's age, and Eddie is Chavo's uncle. Am I right about that?
I'm looking. Hold on. I don't want to.
Yeah, have a look about that. I mean, I might be wrong, but I always thought Eddie was like 38, 39 when he passed away.
He was born in 1967.
And he died in 05, so 7, 8, 7, 9, 7, 2007. He would have been 40 in 2007. So yeah, he was 38.
Um,
38 years old when he
well,
passed away.
he was 67. He's 10 years older than my wife, so he'd be 50
Yeah.
something right now.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Like I don't think he would be still wrestling. I mean, maybe it would be.
Maybe I think he might have I think so. So Dom's been doing his shtick with I'm Eddie's my dad thing.
He said it on Raw this week, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That
You
was
keep my father's name
great,
out of your mouth.
great.
But
No,
yeah,
Ray says to him, he goes, you think you're the greatest luchador of all time? You think you're better than Demon Blue? You think you're better than Eddie Guerrero?
it's
And
like you keep my father's name out of your mouth.
yeah, you
So good.
keep my
Like,
father's name out your mouth. It's like,
no, I love that line that you said. It's like, you're clearly jealous of me. Look, you're trying to copy my mustache. I love that. So good.
but
So good.
no, in Eddie, without a shadow of a doubt, um, is just one of an all-time great. He's in a league of his own.
If I had a couple of wishes, like 3 wishes for wrestling related things, one of my wishes would be like, just give me Eddie Guerrero for at least another 10 years, please. That'd be one of my wishes.
Yeah, because I think he would have been one of those guys that yeah, it's a big what if moment. You know what I mean?
100%, 100% a big what if. Yeah.
Number 4. Another SmackDown must be the home of great cage matches.
I know, right? More like Steel Down. Am I right?
From 2011 until another 2000, and then 2011 must be just like everyone had a cage match in
Yeah.
2011.
Throw him in a cage. What's this one?
This one's Randy Orton versus Christian.
Oh yeah, this is from the feud. Yeah, the feud where they're fighting over the world title.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
Looks like Mark Henry got involved with this one.
Did he? Oh, this might be the Hall of Pain, where like the Hall of Pain shit started to happen. Yeah, yeah, because I think Randy won the title, or was still the champion. I think this is where Mark Henry beat him for the title like about a month afterwards. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a fan of this steel cage match. I think Christian and Randy had better matches than this, but I can see objectively why people like it, but I'm not a fan of this match.
Yeah, I wasn't. Again, 2011. It was on a SmackDown. It's on a random SmackDown, and I wasn't watching SmackDown at that point. I was just strictly a Raw guy. So,
Oh, okay. You're a brand loyalist. I get it.
well, I mean, because I never knew what time freaking SmackDown came on. Like it was taped on Tuesday, but it was on a Thursday. It's like, all right, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Dave Meltzer gave it an NA, not applicable. So I'm right there with Dave Meltzer.
How is he giving this an NA when it's when it's number 4? Okay, weird.
Well, this
Right.
isn't his list. This isn't his list.
No, I understand that, but like surely it has some kind of quality if it's on a top 10 best steel cage matches ever. That's odd.
The Sportster gave it an 8.25 out of 10. So they hold it in high regard. Obviously, it's their list.
Damn, this might be just like a match that maybe this is a controversial match that I don't like and everyone else does. I don't know.
I might have to go back and watch it and
Yeah, man, like watch it with a fresh set of eyes, maybe. Yeah, like obviously I've not seen this match since it aired, and that was 14 years ago. So yeah, maybe it was all right.
that was number 4. Number 3, we're in the top 3. This is always a fun one.
Yeah, let's go.
Number 3, and I knew this was going to be in there, and it kind of makes me mad. They are putting Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus at Payback 23.
In the top 3.
Yeah.
Now, there is an argument to be made that this deserves to be in the top 10, because I remember really enjoying this match. I thought it was very impressive that Trish came back and had such a high quality, dangerous match when she wasn't a fully active competitor. Nowhere near should this be the top 3, but I do think it deserves its kudos. But yeah, like this is a little bit too high for me. I do remember doing some impressive stuff in this match, though.
I agree. I don't. It should be in the. It's the best women's steel cage match.
Yeah, 100%. And I think them two work together very, very well. Like, obviously, you're going to get a good match out of Becky, but I was surprised that Trish could still go at the quality that she was able to.
Yeah, I would never put this in the top 10, or not top 10, but not top 3. I'm definitely not a top 5.
No way. If it was to go anywhere, I would say maybe like 9 or 8.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
100%.
And this was when Becky Lynch was on this is where like she was feuding with Zoe Stark and Trish at the same time. Zoe Stark turned on Trish Stratus to turn face, and nothing really ever come of it. I remember this match very vividly, and like I say, it was very high quality. Was it brutal, like blood and guts everywhere? No, but it was a good, solid steel cage match that I thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, and like the ring work was high quality in this match, so I would put it in the top 10, not the top 3.
Uncle Dave gave it a 4.
Oh, good for Dave. Like you would think for a top 3 match it'd be like 4 point something, but oh well. What about Sportster?
Number 2. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Unforgiven 2005. Edge, Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
This rivalry period is a top 5 rivalry of all time.
100%, especially if you're talking about like the start of the millennia.
Yeah.
It blurred the lines between, real and kayfabe because of what was going on. The unbelievably stupid leg drop from the top of the cage that I'm surprised Matt Hardy didn't paralyze himself by doing. That just looks nasty. And he's gone on record to say that was one of the worst decisions he's ever made. He said that hurt for weeks after he did it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I believe this was the loser leaves Raw match as well. Am I wrong about that? I think was that the one that really was that the one where like they had if whoever loses the cage match left to SmackDown?
There's nothing on the notes about that, so
I think it might have been. It was either that or a ladder match, but I'm pretty sure it was a cage match. And I think, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about that. But there was that stipulation in this feud. But yeah, heading into this match, we knew the background. We knew what the hell had happened. This was one of the very first rivalries that I can think of that people bring up that really sparked arguments and controversy and opinions in the IWC, because obviously the IWC was very early and primitive around that time in 2005. We didn't have TikTok. We didn't really have that much of a YouTube base. We just had forums and websites and the WWE.com thing, and blogs and stuff like that. And if you talk to people who were around back then, this is all that people were talking about. The fact that WWE had released Matt Hardy because Edge and Lita had an affair. And Matt Hardy obviously had a problem with this. And then WWE got rid of him. And then I can't imagine being around in this time where, and I wish I was a wrestling fan at this time where this was all going on, because this must have been so fascinating to watch in real time. And I can't think of an example of this ever happening again in WWE afterwards. I don't think it would ever play out the way it would, but just because I just don't think it would happen in this day and age. Like, again, I know like you were kind of just getting back into wrestling at this point, dude. So was you around, and like was you aware of what was going on?
Yes. This being like at the so this was 2005. This was my first return to the scenes of like, because from 2001 until like 03, 04, I was kind of in and out. 04, I took a break. Oh, and at the beginning, at the latest part of 04, early 05 is when I really started getting back. Like I picked it up again for a little bit, and I was really watching it, and I remember just the whole the Lita Edge sex scene in on Raw, the live sex scene on Raw. That's all that kind of stuff was just added stuff. It was art or life imitating art or art imitating life at that point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was amazing. Like just because they, like you said, it blurred the lines. Be like, what's real, what's not. Um, in a period of time where people wanted to have the whole kayfabe, like, oh, kayfabe's dead. Well, no, wait a second, it's not, because that person, those two were really together, but now she's with him. But is she really, like, what's going on here? Like, and I think that's when I kind of fell in love with Edge as well. Like,
Yeah.
Edge just did what he wanted, and he was a guy that I was like, all right, that guy's cool. As long, you know,
You really hit your stride in '05, didn't it? Like
yeah,
I remember him. Obviously, I think we mentioned previously he had a great feud with Flair. He also had a good feud around the start of 2005 with Michaels, heading into the Royal Rumble, which was a great feud. And then this just capped it off, like the feud that he had with Matt. And I think you mentioned there just being around at the time, and like only I can imagine that. But from what I know from obviously the internet and what we know these days, like we literally know when a wrestler goes to take a shit because we just know everything
yeah,
about. We know too much these days, in my opinion. But I feel like this took place like in a sweet spot of wrestling where you had the internet, you had the blogs and the websites, you were kind of aware what was going on backstage. You kind of knew what was going on, but at the same time, there was still that semblance of mystery because obviously the overexposure didn't exist yet. Like that didn't really happen. So I just think it really took place in like a sweet spot in internet and IWC history.
absolutely. So number one, here we are, the number one cage match of all time.
Oh, this better be.
Oh, better. By the way, Dave Meltzer gave this a 4.25. I think
Wow.
that's
Okay.
the number one.
Please let it be.
SummerSlam 1994.
Of
Brett
course.
Brett Owen.
Yes. That is the right answer. That's all I can say.
Yes,
That
it is.
that it's the right answer. Um, and two of the greatest wrestlers, not just of that generation, but ever, combined with one of the best feuds of the '90s, combined with the cage match, like the stipulation that these guys didn't need a cage match to have a great match.
No, they didn't.
But they used the cage match to build on what they built at WrestleMania 10. And the real feeling of people really wanted Owen to go over in this feud because Bret Hart is Bret Hart. Like, you know, obviously history tells the story of Bret Hart, 5-time world champion, etc. But Owen, just as talented, didn't get as many opportunities as his bigger brother. But you were cheering for the little man. He was the heel, but he had a lot of good points. Like, and I think we've said this on the podcast like multiple times. The best heels have valid points, and with Owen, everyone has felt that what Owen has felt. You know, a guy who's unappreciated, someone who's like has a spotlight more than you. You get jealous, and then you finally feel validated at SummerSlam, and at WrestleMania. I just thought this was like a perfect combination of everything coming together, and it just happened to take place in a steel cage. Like it didn't need a cage, but it was in one.
I 100% agree. And what's horrible is I love Owen Hart, and I think he's another one that was taken from us way too soon.
Yeah, yeah.
And this rivalry, it's like Owen and Bret was Jay and Roman before Jay and Roman. It was just if the family ass dynamic hit home for me because I like my older brother. We're both massive wrestling fans. We run this podcast community or this podcast station, and we for a reason. Those kind of storylines are a lot more involved for me, and they hit home a little bit more for me because it is a family dynamic. I do have an older brother. I do have this like there was never a rivalry that I'm aware of. I mean, unless Scott has a skeleton in his closet that he needs to talk to me about.
Well, he is a mark, so like, you know.
Yeah, and he tried to be a tough guy once. He just couldn't grow his damn beard in.
He's a nugget, damn it.
I'm a black heart, damn it. Look how big my damn nose is.
I totally agree, and I can relate to the dynamic. And I grew up with a stepbrother, and he's older than me. Let's say I was 9 and he was 12, and you always felt this semblance of victory when you were able to beat him at a video game, or whenever, you know, like winning a race, or like, you know, anything like that. Like, you know, when you were the superior sibling, always. So when I went back, and I've told you this story, obviously when I was younger, I was given the WrestleMania anthology for one of my Christmas presents. So when I went back and watched WrestleMania 10, and I kind of got to understand the feud between Bret and Owen through the backstage promos, through the, you know, previously on this rivalry, or like, we're going to show you what happened and why they hate each other. And when I understood it, I was like, Owen's my guy. I want Owen to beat Bret. And then he did at WrestleMania 10, and I was ecstatic. That not only, in my opinion, is one of the, if not the greatest WrestleMania opener of all time, it personally, for me, is in my top 5 WrestleMania matches of all time. And I think it's because I'm a little bit biased towards it. So this whole feud, including the cage match, really holds a special place in my heart, as it probably does for you for similar reasons.
See, I grew up watching. I was more of a Bret Hart fan growing up because he was the excellence of execution. Like some of my favorite WrestleMania matches are with him in it. I go back to WrestleMania 8 with him and Piper, and then of course WrestleMania 13, yeah, 13 with Stone Cold.
Yeah,
Those two matches are like iconic matches in my opinion. And this,
they are.
and then what he did, then what he pulled double duty at 10? Yeah, it was 10. He pulled double.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And he put on a great match with his brother to kick off the night, and then went out and did it again in the main event.
He damn sure did. And
And
no, go on, carry on.
that's why I put Bret Hart a little bit higher than a lot of people do. I he's turned into a crotchety old man at his old age. Like he's kind of a dipshit now, but like
He's very bitter. And to be honest, I can't blame him. His career was ended way too early.
I
Um,
don't I don't like Goldberg. I think that's an unpopular opinion on my front. I've never been a Goldberg guy.
Neither have I. No, neither
I
have I.
just I don't know. I
Um,
was really hoping for when Goldberg Brock Lesnar happened at Mania that one year that Lesnar would have just ended his career, but obviously that didn't happen.
do you know what? And I think it annoys me even more that I don't like Goldberg. The fact that he was the one to end Brett's career, it just annoys me even more. But in terms of Brett and this is why I liked Owen so much as well. When I was a bit younger, I always thought Owen was a lot more exciting. I always thought he was more charismatic. I just thought he was better in the ring than Brett. And I don't know if I've ever said this to you. I don't know if I've only ever said it in a Discord call. I don't know if I've ever said it on a podcast, but I like to compare Bret Hart to the Beatles. And this is a weird comparison, but my explanation is this. When I was growing up, I didn't like the Beatles. I thought they made boring music. I thought they was a bit bland. I thought they made music for older people. And to be honest with you, I really wasn't into it and I didn't understand the hype. When I was growing up watching Bret Hart, I didn't like Bret Hart matches. I didn't appreciate the little things that he did. I like the best matches that he did was the one with Piper at 8 and the one at 13. And I like 13 because it was more of a gimmick match and it was more exciting. And I like the one with Piper just because it was more fast paced than his usual matches. Now that I'm older, in the past, 10 or so years, I have come to appreciate a lot more of the Beatles music in terms of the impact that they had on the business, the quality of the music, the influence that they've had. And that's the exact same way I feel about Bret Hart. I go back and watch Bret Hart's matches now, and I notice the little things that he does, the psychology of his work, the little things that not a lot of people know how to do that he does to absolute perfection. The influence that he's had on modern day in-ring technicians like your Daniel Bryan's, your CM Punk's, your Cesaro's, your Zack Sabre Jr.'s, etc. Bret Hart really is the excellence of execution. And I think you only gain a understanding of how good he is once you get older. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, that's almost spot on with a lot of the. Hold on a second. I'm gonna mute for just a second.
Speaking of Bret Hart, Bret Hart. We start talking about Bret Hart, and CM Punk calls in to the show. Wonder what he's got to say. Well, I know his opinion on the whole Logan Paul situation. I think the fact that you've got CM Punk absolutely influenced by Bret Hart says it all about the excellence of execution. I really do. And the way that he has influenced the modern day wrestling community in terms of the matches that he put on in his own generation, but then guys like your Bryan Danielsons, your CM Punks, your Cesaros, really giving credit to how good he was. This guy was putting on different styles of matches in the early 90s that not a lot of people were. And he was able to work with not just the new generation talent, the people who were a bit quirky, like Yokozunas, but he was also able to work with a lot more fast-paced guys like your Shawn Michaels, and then also able to drag out amazing matches of Diesel. Diesel had his best matches when he was wrestling Bret Hart. He's had great feuds with The Undertaker. You name it, Bret Hart has had a great feud with, because he's able to adapt and bring out the best in his opponents, whether they're just as good as him, have a different style as him, or under his level. He's able to bring them up to his level.
All right, I'm back. So I am so terribly sorry. My wife had called me and wanted to know if we needed anything for dinner tonight. So we're having
No
mini
problem, dude.
tacos. We're having mini tacos tonight. So
It's fine. I carried on talking. I carried on talking about Bret Hart. Don't worry. I kept the show going. Don't you
you
worry about
fucking Mark. You fucking.
it. I executed it excellently, you might say.
The
That
excellence of execution.
yeah, that whole like, little like ramble that I went on. I executed it excellently.
Of course you did, because you can't grow your damn beard in.
And you goddamn right I can't. Don't start with that.
So we've been doing this for, I don't know, when did we start Blood Feud?
God, about I'd say about 2 months now, maybe a bit more.
Yeah, we got a good library going. So whoever's watching this, wrestling related or not, thank you for stopping in each week. Matt Duelist has been pretty much, I know he's watched every episode. I know he's been in here. Thank you
I love that.
so much for the support. Cody Cornett catches us when he's able to. Appreciate him. And everyone else who will watch this, thank you for watching this. We're open to any lists you want to throw at us. That's kind of our gimmick right now. We're in the middle of the list generator. Rhys, do you have any suggestions for a list that we can search up for next week?
In terms of suggestions, I don't. All that I know is we basically cover a lot of old school stuff. And I think that's our vibe. Don't get me wrong, we talk about the current events that's going on in WWE. If the list includes it, we talk about recent matches. But I feel like our jam and our vibe, and I've said this from the start, is old school wrestling, like 80s, 90s, noughties, 2010s. And I think leaning into that makes us a lot different than anything that you'll watch in the IWC, simply just because it brings you back, like nostalgic wise, baby. You want to talk about old school matches, we're here for it. You want to lean into any opinions, you want to tell us about anything that's going on, you want to talk about any particular topic, we will. Just put it in the comments. Just like send us a private message. You know where to find me. My name's right there on the screen. You know where Matt is. You know where you can find him on the different social medias. You ask my opinion on something, and if I know about it, I'll tell you. If I don't know about it, I'm gonna go research it and get right back to you. Like, I think that's our vibe. Like nostalgia, old school wrestling. Take you back to the days where you were growing up, where you were locked in on wrestling. What made you fall in love with this community in the first place?
Now, I'm trying to figure something out. If you have Discord, feel free to join the Huge Pop Entertainment Discord. It is Huge Pop Entertainment. Just search it up in your Discord. You should be able to find us there. We always have a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there's fair enough amount of people who like to stop in and talk wrestling. We discuss that's where we talk our current day stuff. This show, like you said, is the throwback show, the retro show, the feel good, take you back to the moments that you remember and maybe show you moments that you've never seen and or don't remember as well, and you get more of appreciation for it.
That even goes for us too. That are speaking right now. You just mentioned a steel cage match on this that I don't even remember. Like the triple threat match. I'm gonna go back and watch that. I don't remember it. So it's done it for me. And if it can do it for me, it can do it for all of you too.
Now there was moments that they decided to leave off this list, and I guess there's a moment that I thought should have been included on this list, but it happened before the Fed happened, so I guess that's okay. Like, it was very early for WWF. It was Superfly Jimmy Snuka and Andre the Giant in a steel cage. I think it was Andre.
I think it was Don Morocco, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was Don Morocco.
It was Superfly and Don Morocco, and of course that was the first person who took the dive off the top rope or top of the cage.
Yes, a very iconic moment. I'm surprised that that's not in there as well. But like you say, obvious reasons. Maybe it wasn't under the banner that they're going for. But if you've never seen that, like, just go and watch that bit because it's very impressive and no one had ever done it before. You want to talk about innovative? You want to talk about a high flyer that was doing it before a lot of other people? You got to talk about the super fly. He was doing it way before your favorites.
Yeah, I mean, he was the. I mean, I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be a little bit more political correct, but he was the first spot monkey. Really, if you really want to get technical, he was that first guy to do the crazy shit off the top ropes. The crazy. At one point, I remember seeing when I was little a spot where this is before Andre became the heel. He climbed on top of Andre's shoulders, and he did a off the top of Andre dive. It was pretty cool to see that.
And that's more impressive because, I mean, you see that spot quite often nowadays in wrestling, where I think I've seen it where people have got on the shoulders of Big Bill from AEW. You see it with Omos, where people have got on the shoulders of him. But you didn't see that back in the day. So it was very innovative. And that's something that the crowd had never seen, something that's normal in today's wrestling or more common in today's wrestling. You got to give credit to the guys that did it for the first time.
Absolutely. So going forward, like I said, if you guys are watching this, drop a comment in the description of what you might want to see us talk about. We're open to anything. I'll check the comments later, or like you said, like Rhys said a little bit ago, reach out to us directly and say, hey, here's an idea for a list. See if you can come up with these lists.
Hell yeah.
My dog's got ideas. He loves it.
Yeah, he's gone to grab his phone right now.
Yes. So you go grab your phone. You tell us what you want to see. And guys, thanks again for everything, Rhys. I will definitely be talking to you soon. And
yeah, man.
You know what? I'm feeling nice. So we'll catch you next time.